Hello everyone, Socksway up here. We're bringing you a City Skylines How to Get Started series for 2021. Thought we'd start off the year with a good tutorial for beginners. A lot of people have probably bought in the game over the holidays, got it as a gift. I know there's been a lot of Steam sales where it's up to 75% off. So I wanted to, get a series going to show all the tips and tricks for the beginning of the game so that you can get a profitable city and get to understanding City Skylines and the basics to it. We're not going to be using any mods. It's going to be very vanilla. We're going to use, let's see, which map do we want to pick? We definitely want one with all the natural resources and outside connections available to us. Let's go with, let's see. Yeah, let's go with Sandy Beach. Let's give that a shot. Here we go. All right, so the game loaded up here. We got nothing unlocked. You can see just roads. The first thing I like to do is make sure the game is always paused. That way, after you lay down these roads, you can see they do have a cost and they also have an upkeep cost. So this one is 32 cents per cell. So the more roads we have, the more money that we have as our expenses, and we'll have to get residents in paying taxes to get income coming in so that we can have a positive cash flow. See, our weekly income right now is 0. We got no residents, no Sims living in here. And their global happiness is pretty sad because we haven't done anything. So I do take a peek around and start thinking. Typically I always add the industry on the smaller side of the square, or if it's in the center, I typically just kind of peek around and say, where should I put the industry? This one, we are going to put it over here on the left side, I think. Again, this series is just to get you started so you can get a profitable city going and kind of see some of the ways that I do that. But one of the first things I do is I just go to a random spot, take this main road, and I make sure I'm at the smallest cost. We go ahead and build it, and then we delete it, and that will open up a good amount more roads for us. That we only have $70,000 to start with. We use 10 of it just to unlock things. And we can see here electricity and water is set up. So I like to start with water. The first thing I do is I come out here to where my nearest water source is, which we just have the one option. And we go ahead and grab the water drain pipe. We can see this is going to be a tough starting location. The water doesn't move much. So in this situation, we might have to keep an eye on this and make sure that we don't end up having dirty water, and we can kind of see that later. So it looks like it does move that direction, so that will give us a good place to start that. And then I'm going to go all the way over here to the other side of this opening, connect the two together. And what I like to do, especially early game, I like to grab one of these wind turbines. They are 8 megawatts of power, and then we're going to connect the two together. So that will give us a water source that also has electricity on both ends. And then before we spend any more money, we're going to go to our pipes and we're going to bring them in. Anywhere is fine, but we're going to bring them closer to this main road. And that's going to set up our initial water and a start to the electricity. So also while we're at it, if we really wanted to, we could bring the electricity around something like that. Get it into town, and you can see we're already at 44,000. So those are some of the big monies that we spend. We could start with a coal power plant, but that's 19,000, and that typically, if you're new at the game and starting up, you're going to get yourself in trouble if you go with that much money up front. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to build some roads. So if you look at our highways, we don't have any highways unlocked. So since this is highway roads, it is a little frustrating early on in the game, but we do have this 2-lane one-way road that I typically like to extend. So let's go 1200 out on both sides here, like that. And we got a little slope to deal with, but that's not too bad. And then I like to branch these out. I personally like to go at like a 45-degree angle, as you can see there. And let's see, we'll go down probably at this one dot here. If we go 45 up like that, we got a straight road. So that's 560 cost. So we're going to try to mimic that on the same side, or on the other side. So we got that good. And then if we wanted to, we could then have this road. Now we want a two-way road. Come directly across like that. But then let's continue our road up, and let's just go that amount. That should be fine. And then we can do one way again. 560, perfect. and 560. And then some of those directions are not correct, as you can see. So you go to the upgrade road, and we'll go ahead and right click on that. And like so. So now the traffic is flowing both directions. And this is going to be our main road for now. We'll use this one to extend out. Let's just see, where are we at with money? 36,000, we got plenty. So let's go out 2,400 that way, and we'll go out 1,600 this way. And so now we can start thinking about building things. We have a way for people to get to both sides of the highway. This is going to become an issue long term. Later on, what we'll want to do is we have access to the highway on both directions. So once we start laying things down, we might take a peek at this area and see if we can do a overpass so that this intersection is a little less busy. All right, and since we're designing this for mostly beginners, we're gonna go with just a grid. And I wouldn't recommend doing anything other than that for your first playthrough. I like to go about 800 out, and that makes a nice amount of space to be zonable. And then we can just, cut through here. We won't have that one connect, but then we have a little bit of a grid, not too many intersections. If we space these out by 800 cost, that would be pretty ideal. So we'll go 800 again, and then we can bring this up again. And we have a little pattern going here. That won't be too bad. But so we're at 27,000. Before we get too far, let's make sure that we got this whole area saturated with water. And we'll want to extend that this way because we're gonna put our industry over here later. Go ahead and take care of all of that while we're in there. And we could even extend this up. If you go 440, that should be just about perfect to cover it without wasting any money. You can see it is overlapping a little bit, but that is just about the sweet spot there. So now we got the water covered. We do not have electricity. So if we wanted to bring this in to about right there, and if we zone our first neighborhoods in that area, that should be pretty good. What I recommend not doing is zoning that close to the main road. So I went ahead and zoned everything inside, but then I stripped out this little section here just to help with traffic a little bit. So that's everything. I accidentally hit play there. That's everything that we should need. We have 17,000 still, but we are going to want to zone some of this industry. So let's go back to our two-way road. And let's bring it down. Let's do the same pattern. Again, we're learning the game. We're not necessarily focused on the design of this area as much as just learning the game and figuring out exactly all the mechanics and how it works. So we'll go a little bit different there, and we'll mimic that on this side as well. And this should give us plenty of area to zone for industry. So let's go ahead and do that before we even hit play. So right here I'm using the marquee tool to just kind of pick and choose everywhere that I do want to zone. And we're gonna go ahead and do all of that to straight across there. And it's kind of frustrating that we don't have the highways unlocked at this point because those are zonable areas. Let's avoid zoning those. We can upgrade them to highways later on, and these main roads we're also gonna make larger later on. While we still have some money, I'm going to build out just some small areas for some of our commercial. So let's do that there, and let's go ahead and come over here and we'll mimic the same thing. I think we went up 400. Yep, we went 400. Let's go there, 400, and we'll go ahead, even though it's not asking for any commercial demand, we are going to give it a little bit of an area to start building for when we get to that point. So at this point, we are pretty set. We actually have 7,000 left. You can see we wouldn't have been able to put that coal power plant and prepped everything as we've done. You can see from when I accidentally hit play, the electricity is starting to spread. So you use these power lines just to get the electricity into the area. Once houses start populating, they will then pass the electricity from building to building as long as it's within reach. So we'll want to make sure that we do the same thing over here. Let's go like that to that corner, get rid of that one. And while we have the money, even though these power lines might get demolished later, let's do the same thing over here. We'll have to take a peek just to be safe. I'm gonna come right in there and smash some of that just to be safe. And then also we're gonna do the same thing. Space already occupied, so let's come across from here. Let's go down the middle of the highway. Why not? Oh, it's not straight enough. Let's delete that. Get a little bit of a refund. Let's do this. Come across. Again, these will go away eventually, but we're gonna get this over here to this commercial area, and then this one now, we should be able to get into that industry area, and I think we're all set at this point. Let's switch back to this view so we can see it. And let's go ahead and hit play. We're going to press 3 to go ×3, and we're gonna see everything start growing in. So our houses are coming in. We got -500. You can see that number is going to keep going up because of maintenance on all of these roads, all of the power lines, all of the water lines. They all cost money. Let's pause it for a second. One thing we can do here is we can go into the budget. We can look at our road budget, and we could decrease all of these. We can decrease the electricity, we can decrease the water, and then we can hit play and take a peek at those and see, all right, the budget's down to 2 because we decreased it. So that's okay, we still got enough. Well, we will have to raise that pretty quick though, but it will help us get started. Water we can keep low. So again, right now we already need more electricity. So let's go ahead and pull that up. Let's go about 75% and see how that works. Go back into our electricity tab, and that doubled it. So the city's growing, everything's got electricity. Our demands, you can see, quickly went to industry popping up, some commercials already coming in, and it's just a matter of time before the city is profitable. Got plenty area still to zone for commercial, plenty for industry, plenty for residential, and there we go. We're already a profitable city, and that was about 12 minutes it took with me explaining things as well. And we can see traffic is coming in, and that's a good start there. I think what we'll do is we're gonna let the game play. We're gonna see if we can get up to the first milestone here. Let's take a peek at that. That's 500 population, should be plenty of area to zone. And we'll place down these first services if we can afford it. And we'll end this episode after that. Well, we already have an electricity issue, so let's pull that back up to 100 now that we're profitable. And we might need to add another turbine. Let's take a peek. Do we have enough money? We don't. We need 6,000. So at this point, you have to kind of let the game play a little bit and hope you don't run out of electricity. But I think we'll be okay when we hit that 500 mark. We should be zoned plenty for that. Yeah, we're at 340 already. It's coming along. I'm gonna let the game play. I'll get back to you once we hit that milestone. All right, we did it. We are having a little bit of an electricity issue, but we're gonna take care of that. We hit 500. We got our little hamlet. Things that unlocked is taxes, loans, garbage, healthcare, education and campus areas. We could do up to a community school, it looks like already. We won't do that yet. Oh, that's alternative to an elementary school. We won't be able to spend that much money, but the things we'll need to take care of is garbage services. So we'll need a landfill or a recycling center. Healthcare, what we'll need is one of the medical centers. And for education at this point, the minimum that you can do is an elementary school. So let's go ahead and pause the game right here. We're making 1,500 a week profit, so that's going to go up. And the game also gives you a nice little bump of money when you hit the milestones, so that's nice. And the next one's 1,000. So this map specifically has nice round numbers so far, 500 to 1,000, and then 1,500, 2,600 is where it changes a little bit. But let's go ahead and take a look at our electricity. That's the first thing we should take care of here because we kind of underdid it. And so we only have 29,000. Actually, let's look at our taxes first. Our budget, water's fine. Electricity's a little low. Water's gonna be able to handle it, definitely. So we come over here and go to taxes. I like to bump it up to 12 for residential, for commercial, and for industry. I've seen people do 13. 12 seems to be the sweet spot for me. What you can do is bump it up to wherever you see it. Pay attention to the little messages here. People will start complaining. They will start leaving if taxes are too high. But let's take care of the electricity. We're going to take one of these. They're 6,000. Let's go ahead and place 2 of them. That'll leave us with 27,000, or sorry, with 17,000. But we can come into the loans here and we can take a $20,000 loan. It is going to cost us $403 a month, but we do have a surplus right now, so it should be okay to give us a bump. And let's go take a peek in our industry area and see if there's a place where we can fit our landfill. And we do have a nice spot there. Let's have the road face that way. So that will be able to service the whole area here. I like to then come over to the commercial area that we've started near the residential area, and we'll place down our medical clinic. This one cost us $10,000. They both cost $10,000, so it's kind of, you know, which one do you like the look of? You can do that. And then the elementary school itself, we're gonna have a couple options here. We have $10,000 one and a $10,000. They're both the same again. This one's a little bit bigger. This one, yeah, they're about the same size actually. So it's just whatever you want for the look of your neighborhood, for your city. And we have a little bit of money. We're gonna have to spend it wisely. So we're gonna fill in this area here, come across like that. And we'll throw the elementary school right there. And we're also gonna have to zone a good amount more here around the elementary school. At this point, it's safe to go ahead and hit play. We got $10,000. We got a little bit to play with. We're gonna need to add some roads. We're gonna need to potentially add more residential areas to hit that 1,000 mark for the next one. We're gonna leave that for the next episode though, and get to that again. I'm gonna do this is gonna be a shortish series of just getting you started, getting you through a few of the milestones and how I think about things, and explain all the things you need to get your city profitable, and some of the tips and tricks that I've used just to get started on cities. Again, this one's not going to be about the look and feel of the city or the design, mostly about functionality of the game for new beginners that may have picked up the game on the Steam sales that have been recently, or new console players, new people that got gifts for Christmas. Just thought it'd be a good way to start off 2021. And I'm Socksway Up. Thanks for joining, and look forward to seeing you on the next one.